back with another episode of the crossover with your host Ravi and B. We've been away for a while, but we're back. That's my bad, folks. I won't get into it, but it was a lot of stuff going on. But anyhow, to the business at hand. We're a few weeks out from the playoffs, Ravi. Let's get into the Eastern Conference playoffs because there's a whole bunch of stories going on in the East that kind of playoff related or tied into it. We're going to do rapid fire, kind of like our own little version of PTI, a couple minutes for each of them. So the first topic I want to bring up in this case is the Chicago Bulls and what is going on there, man, because a fire sale is about to happen this summer. Let me tell you, outside of that stadium in this case. So maybe a few weeks ago, you're thinking like the 7th or the 8th spot, Jimmy Butler's just about to come back. And ever since Butler got back and the guys started coming back, they've actually gone the other way, which is really weird, man. Like, what's going on with Chicago, man? What are your thoughts on this, man?
You know what? And they're not exactly like this team, but they kind of remind me of the early Sacramento Kings in the early 2000s. A team that's kind of they're always knocking on the door. Every year they seem to it's their year that year. It's their year, and they just can't get over that hump. And like the Kings had to do like the mid 2000s, they have to blow it up at some point and just start over. And I think that's where the Bulls are at right now.
Right.
They've already made coaching changes. They made some personnel changes. Got Pau Gasol last year, and I mean, you have the Rose injuries. That's kind of well documented, and I mean they tried different things, and nothing seems to be working for them in terms of getting over that hump. And their players can't stay healthy. We've already, a few episodes back, we already touched on the training staff and things like that. But I think it's time. It's got to start at the top.
Right.
It's got to start at the top.
Exactly. I see it as, the same thing. It starts at the top. These guys made the decision to get rid of Thibodeau or Tibbs or however some people pronounce his name. Thibodeau. I think, you do that. Guys were willing to play for him. He was able to kind of keep the peace amongst the different factions within the team. And the moment that thread was pulled, everything started unraveling. All the stuff with Rose, if he's coming, if he's not coming, the injury situation, and kind of his position within the team, I think Tibbs was able to kind of keep that under wraps because he was kind of the alpha voice in the locker room when it's all said and done. His way of the highway. Now with a new coach, seems to be much more, not want to say softer, but different type of perspective. More, kind of giving the players a little more leeway. He's not really coming down as like kind of a hard ass type of thing. So I think. Guys, a team like that that's used to getting that, not getting that sometimes can be disaster because guys start taking advantage of that, and I think you're seeing some of that now. Guys speaking out more, guys wilding out, discussing stuff that should be in the locker room. Butler throwing shade at the coach. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that you can see unraveling here. And then the Rose, I've heard like Rose/Noah Rose faction versus the Butler faction. And it really is, that is the difference, really, of where they want to go as a team. Are they going to keep with this Rose experiment much longer, or are they going to kind of cut bait and say, okay, Jimmy, you're the dude, we're building around you and be done with it? And that's really what comes down to with them, I think. Because I think they got pieces that suit. They almost got two different teams, actually, in some ways, if you look at it. Certain players that suit playing more with Jimmy Butler, and certain players that probably suit better playing with Rose. And I don't think they can figure out either one, man. So that's my summation of how I see it with the Bulls. They won't make the playoffs, I doubt it. They're about 2.5 to 3 games out right now. With about 8, 9 to go. It's possible still, but I don't know, man.
Right now they're 2.5 games.
Yeah.
Detroit has that 8th spot. And the thing with Detroit, they have a lot of home games left.
No doubt. I told you at the beginning of the year. Watch out for my Detroit Pistons. And I ain't saying it's bad boys days. I'm not even saying in this case it's Rip and the boys, but you gotta give SVG credit, boy. He knows how to turn things around.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I think right now you look at it, man. Like Chicago is like I think a team that's just worn down, kind of like an old calf or a cow or a horse that needs to go out the pasture. It's just like it's done. And I think
I think you hit the nail on the head. There. You got to switch up the whole. They have to transition the whole culture because everything is they still have that ghost of Derrick Rose kind of hanging over there. He's not even dead yet. He's still there.
Right, he's still there.
So you got to cut ties. I mean, it's gonna be hard for them to find someone to take on Rose and take on his contract at this point. If that's what they want to do, but I'm sure there's some franchise there that's looking for some kind of I don't know, so splashy move for their fan base, and you might be able to pull something. You never know.
Lose back-to-backs against the Knicks, man. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs anyhow. Moving on to the Cavaliers. Now, just for folks at home, offline, Robbie and I were discussing when we spoke about the historic season Curry was having. We were debating, should we discuss about the Cavaliers? At that time, there was a little rumblings with LeBron and stuff like that going at the time. Taking a little trip to visit his buddy, Wade and stuff like that.
And this is about what, 4 weeks?
3 months, yeah, exactly. And at the time, at least I kind of threw my 2 cents. They made a call like, you know what? Let's hold off of that one. I think there's going to be more to this story. And boy, is there more to the story. Okay, so after the little honeymoon in Miami, and he came back after cheating on his girlfriend for a little minute and coming back home, got the mouthwash, worked up to make sure the car was clean. He came back. He came back. Like if nothing happened. But then afterwards, once again, signs there of not feeling loved or whatever the case would be. I don't know. We got unfollows now, and folks not getting loved by not getting followed by LeBron for the Cavaliers. Wanting to play with his buddies and stuff like that, putting out pictures like that. So I'll let Robbie go out here. Here we go. Enjoy. I throw the raw meat out there like a ravaged dog. Toss it out there. Go after it. Here you go.
Hey, man. I'll start off by saying you can't question this guy's talent. Anyone that's questioning LeBron's talent as a player on the court, you got to be out of your mind. So there's no question about his talent. I think for his time in the league, he's always been a professional guy. You haven't really heard any issues. But I think as of late, and more so this season, I think he bit off more than he can chew going back to Cleveland. I don't think he thought it was going to be this tough. I think he thought he would go back and he would, he put his pieces around him, and I didn't think it was going to be this tough to bring a chip back.
I got interesting points. I'll wait till you're done. Actually,
okay,
yeah.
But for me, I think the behavior in the last 3-4 weeks has been unprofessional. I'll start with him going down to Miami working out with Wade. So before that, he was putting out, before his trip down to Miami, he was putting out some Instagram posts, some tweets, and some very cryptic things about being, we need to be more disciplined, and being disciplined leads to success and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to say that, you're going to preach discipline. You're flying out in between games to go work out with your ex-teammate and the team you used to play for. I mean, you're telling the guys one thing, but you're doing something totally different.
Right.
So, and the thing is, even if you wanted to do that, that's great. But you posted a video of it, so that's the only reason we know about it.
Right.
Right. See, no one would have known anything if he didn't post it.
Right. Exactly.
No. So he's putting stuff out there. And now we get to the unfollows. He last week he unfollowed the Cleveland Cavaliers on Twitter. He unfollowed a lot of their media people, Dave McMenamin of ESPN, some of the sideline reporters for the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly the local guys the local media that follow the Cavs. He unfollowed a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
The national media people like Rachel Nichols, Mike Wilbon, all those guys, they're still on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his ref put out an excuse saying, as they approach playoffs, he likes to get off social media.
That's true. That's true.
But the last few years, all he did was just shut down his social media, and he didn't post anything. He did not individually go in and. No,
that's true. That takes some time to do that.
So hey, I mean. There's a mute button on Twitter if you don't want all the noise. So, LeBron knows he's a very social. I mean, he's growing up in this age. He's playing in this era. It's very social. He's social media savvy. This guy, he knows that there's nothing he does by accident. Everything LeBron does has a purpose, has some sort of meaning behind it. But my issues with him is the fact that, to me, it's his passive-aggressive behavior. I think it's immature. I think it's childish. And then when he got questioned about it, he walked in the interview. He had like his little lackey of the Cavalier press lady was, or the PR lady was behind him.
Right.
He didn't want to answer the questions. And it's like, dude, You're putting this out there.
Right.
You're the most popular athlete in North America. So any little thing you do on social media, I mean, you have like how many millions of people following you.
Right.
You got to expect that the media's going to ask about it. So they ask you about it, you get upset, you walk off.
Right.
And, you know, it's to me, I think what it comes down to is since LeBron has been in the league, that spotlight's been on him. Last couple seasons, it's on Steph Curry. No one's talking about LeBron.
Well, season, last season was on him. He came back to Cleveland. It was about him. It was about him.
Okay, so this season, everything's all about
granted,
and Steph Curry, and I think that's getting to him. And I think whatever he can do to keep his name relevant right now, and he's having a great season, like stats wise. So, but Golden State is playing at such a high level, and what Steph Curry has been doing all year, it's overshadowing what he's doing. And I don't think he can handle it. I mean, I think it's getting to him to a certain extent. And I think he's a guy that likes the attention, and like I said, that spotlight's not on him right now.
I can take some merit in that. Actually, you know what? You know, obviously, I'm a big LeBron guy, but I will agree with all the stuff he's doing going to Miami and the other following. Like, you know what? Like, if you're on the team, you're on the team. It is what it is. Like, I could get some new wave stuff and new school stuff, but like certain things, I'm old school with that. Like, if you're on the team, you're on the team. So I'm not giving him a pass on that. I think there is something to what you're saying about the whole thing of not being the spotlight, trying to kind of pull the spotlight back towards him. Yeah, in the small things, you know, when you have guys of that type of talent level. I mean, we talked about Jordan for years and other players of that ilk, man. They got funny things that make them tick that we just as common folks just don't get. And we sit there going, like, dude, what's the big deal? Like, really, that for them is a big thing. So that might be his tick. Yeah. Possibly it might be the case. I mean, you think about it. In some ways, you know, if you've been born since 15, you know, as the spotlight on you all the time, you know, he's getting to a point in his career where, at some point that spotlight's not going to be on you in the same intensity as it was before.
Well, it's like the girl in her 20s who's been hot for like 10 years, and you know now she's in her mid 30s, and she's not getting that same.
Well, she might still look nice, but she looks nice for her situation. But there's some 21-year-old,
But you're not getting that look. I mean, there's a new one turning 18 every day.
Right. It's a little different in that sense, right? And I think there is a little of that. But I think going back to a point you mentioned about him feeling the pressure in this case, or I think you made a point about them feeling the pressure. I think it's actually the opposite. I think what's got him frustrated and what's kind of put things in this case, two things are going on. I think in this case, in the bigger picture, I think I don't think it's so much about the interest or whatever the case may be. I think you made some point about interest. Kind of forgot the full point, but I think I look at the reverse. I think expectations in this case have gone up more so than before. I don't think it was too easy. I don't think it was too easy for him. I think he expected to be harder. But I think what happened was last year they got there faster than anticipated. So now it's with everything in overdrive, including his patience now. Because when they went in, probably maybe about year 2. This would have been the year maybe they make their run. Mm-hmm. Potentially year 3 if it got the worst case scenario. But no one expected for year 1 that was a possibility. Especially how they got out the gates. So I think that's put everything in fast forward mode. And I think what's happening is he's running out patience with these guys like, our time is now. Not like, and these guys aren't getting it. And I think one of the things that LeBron has been consistent about, even with all the mood swings and changes and stuff over the years, one thing's always been consistent with LeBron. More so than any star player I think I've ever seen in the NBA. He has to have a very symbiotic relationship with his teammates. He's not like a guy you just put on a team and it's like, say Jordan, it's like, dude, those 4 jokers over there, you do what I do and off we go. That is not, I don't care who you are. Once you're on the team with me, you're going to do what I say. I think he's very much into like one with the teammates. I like you, you like me, and this is the thing. I want to enjoy playing with you. It's a little more than just, we just get the job done, which most top dudes are usually like that. I think the closest person from a top standpoint that might be the most similar to him in that sense, to some extent, is Magic. To some extent. Most of the other guys are mostly mercenaries. Isaiah, Jordan, you name it in this case. Like, get me players, I don't care who it is, and off we go. With LeBron, it's a very delicate relationship. So when it comes to teammates, that's why you see the thing putting up Carmelo stuff. He's always been that. Even when he's in high school, his picture of him and his dudes from high schools and stuff like that. Even up to today, that's always been something that's a thread throughout. when he used to take the pictures with the guys, first time around Cleveland. All that's part of it. And of course, still having ties with Miami. It's all part of it. He's very tied to that teammate bonding component. And I think with Cleveland, the fact is, he just don't like playing with these dudes.
But here's the thing. I mean, he knew what that team was going back there. He knew what the team was.
No, hold on.
And he made certain decisions.
No, I'm not saying that. Hold on. Here's the point. I think you make the decision of the trade with Wiggins. I think you do it all over again. I think from a basketball standpoint, it makes sense. Wiggins ain't ready for no type of thing we watched in June. He ain't ready for that. I love Wiggins, but Wiggins like 3 years from even being that type of player yet. So if the deal happened today, you still make the deal. I think the issue is one of those things that going back to one of your analogies is like, yeah, you and your boy are cool, but when you start living together, it's a different story than when you're hanging out on every Friday night. It's a different story. I think it's one of the things when he's hanging out with Irving, they're doing commercials for Nike, and they're on the Dream Team and stuff like that. Yeah, those things like honeymoon period. But now it's every day. It's like, Lord, your socks are there in the front of the floor. Oh, Lord.
That kind of leads me into the next point, which is sort of... his latest thing. Well, it's not. I mean, to his credit, this interview was done around the All-Star break, but it's just coming out now. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he said this last week or anything. Where he made some statements to Howard Beck from Bleacher Report, mm-hmm. Saying he'd like to at least towards at some point in his career play a year or two with Melo, Wade,
right.
Him and CP3.
Right.
Now, I mean, you could say the same thing. They might all be buddy off the court.
True.
But we'll see how that.
I agree. I totally agree with that. That could backfire as well too. But I think the thing is, I don't know. I think LeBron in his head sees certain players in this case of like how he thinks his skill set will complement them for the most part. And I think he thought in this case coming here, his skill set, because I don't think LeBron wants to be scoring 27 points a game, honestly. At this stage of his career, I don't think LeBron wants to do that. I think LeBron line would be like 22 points a game, 9 assists, 8 boards. Heck, if he could strive to get double digits in assists, I think he would do so. But I think the thing is, he's looking at his team and is like, okay, guys, where's the growth? Like, at this point, he's looking at Irving. It's like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, you can't be doing the same thing you've been doing since year 1 in Cleveland. It's like, love, I'm giving you the reins. I feel everyone jumps on LeBron for the coaching change. I think the key person in that coaching change was Kevin Love. Because it's not a coincidence that Kevin Love's been more aggressive, at least outwardly more so since Lou's been the coach than he was when what's his name was the coach.
Well,
Black.
I mean, even the coaching change. I mean, the coaching change is done, and their defense has gotten worse.
Worse, right? And Love is still all Mr. Sensitive. Like, dude, at some point.
And LeBron, LeBron's still not listening to Lou at times either.
No, and I hear you. I think at some point it's like LeBron's part of the issue, but at some point. These guys got to take responsibility. I hear these guys yapping off in the mouth, talking about they want more responsibility. And Irvin, on the side, hearing stories about him saying like, he pretty much like he wants his own team. It's like, dude, how was that when you had your own team? How was that working out for you? Huh? 20 games a year. How is that working out for you? Give me a break. Like, I get you. You're 23. You want to sow your oats type of thing. You want to play your big man on campus. The experiment tried. It failed miserably. You know what? Like, just realize in this case here, like, you ain't the dude. That's all it is to it. You're a nice secondary piece, but you ain't the dude. Now, it's hard for guys that have always been the dude to realize at some point, you know what? You get to a certain stage in life, you ain't the dude no more. And I think that these guys here, Love is the opposite. Love is like so much so concerned about insecurities and stuff like that you gotta keep building him up every day. And I think that's probably where a guy like LeBron's like, dude, man, like get up the diapers, man. Like, come on, like really. And then Irving on the other hand has almost too much confidence. Like, dude, you're nice, but you ain't that nice. And it's like at some point, it's like you're sitting there going like, really. And, so I hear some of it is him because I mean. When I chuckled when I think you made a joke a few weeks ago when J.R. Smith was talking about we gotta be more consistent. You say that J.R. Smith, the voice of reason, but based on what we just discussed, that analysis, J.R. Smith might be. I'm not saying is not coming from the right source, but I think when you look at your star players, you're wondering like, dude, like where are these dudes when I want them in crunch time? I ain't sure what I'm gonna get from these dudes.
Yeah. Well, I mean. I don't totally disagree with that. I think obviously it's not just a LeBron issue in Cleveland. The rest of the guys have to step up and then play up to their potential, obviously. But I think I just think like the whole LeBron in Cleveland thing is to the point where in Cleveland he's larger than life. He's bigger than the team. You know, it's and the 1 year deals that he keeps doing. At some point, it's like you got the whole franchise, you got the whole city. Everyone's like they're so scared to say anything to this guy because he might leave again. It's like like everyone's walking on eggshells. He can do the most amount of nonsense.
You know what? I would never dog him for that or any player. Period. If they want to do the 1 year contract, I'm not a big fan of them overall because a lot of dudes don't have that type of talent to pull off 1 year deals. But if you do, more power to you. Because I've always said it, and I'll say it now, and I know I might get ripped for this, but I don't think there's any player that's been done more of a disservice from a GM standpoint, an upper management standpoint, than LeBron James when it comes to it. Because LeBron James makes a GM's life real simple. It's like, oh, I don't have to get that power forward. I got LeBron. Oh, I don't have to get a center really as a backup center. I'll just play LeBron at the center position. Oh, I don't need to get a backup point guard. I'll just let LeBron play point guard. So you get all these things where guys go on the cheap. LeBron gets you 60 wins, and you look like a genius when it's done. And at the same time, you're looking at it, it's like, okay, you think anyone ever put a team around him like you see what Curry done? Where we have like the depth, like 2-3 guys in depth on each position? No team LeBron's ever had, including the Miami teams. Where it's like, okay, Pat Riley's looking at some genius in this case. What Pat Riley do for the most part from a genius standpoint in this case for building any sort of depth? Besides get Birdman. Like, really? Seriously. Like, when it's all said and done, you drafted Doris Cole. Okay, what you do? And let me see. And I got Birdman here on a flyer. That's essentially it in this case here. And grab Batty in this case an off-season move. But I'm sitting there going like, are you kidding me? Like, there's no depth whatsoever. I mean, try some things with Beasley, but I'm sitting there going like, the Miami teams are poorly built for depth. Poorly built for depth.
But so I mean, with this Cleveland team, this iteration of this Cleveland team, last year and this year, how much of a say do you think he has in who's on that team?
I think he has more say this year than last year. I will say that because I think that's one of the things. Second thing is, I think one of the things that had frustrated him as well as other players, based on the interviews I heard when Black got fired was. And I think the GM, the upper management, it was probably one of the reasons why he got rid of them. It was this. It's like, listen, we brought you in players to go and play. Anyone sitting at home, all you all out there right now sitting at home, okay? No hoops in this case. Tell me on a straight flush level, look at me right now. Please put in the comments if you would disagree, that would say that on any given basis, both men healthy, that in this case, that Dellavedova should get minutes ahead of Mo Williams, okay? Please tell me in this case here, should that be happening? Please tell me, okay? Verjao sit on the bench. I'm not saying Verjao should be playing 25 minutes because the moment he plays 25 minutes straight, you can get hurt. So I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that he should get more minutes of that to go and take some time off of Thompson and Mozgov. Wasn't happening. Wasn't happening. Now, true, they end up getting rid of him in this case here for Fry, who fits more into their flow with shooting threes. That makes sense from a distribution standpoint and a spacing. So I get that move. I don't think it's a bad move. I think it's a very good move. But when I look at the players they got this year to help with the depth, I just find in this case the guys were not getting used they were supposed to be used. And I think that starts frustrating because a guy like LeBron in this case here, I don't think, another thing he's very sensitive about in this case here is his minutes. More so than any top player I've seen in a long time. He's like, listen, I don't want to be playing these minutes. And I'm either getting forced to play these minutes because you guys are not playing the players that should be brought here to help. So instead of me sitting on the bench and Mo Williams playing as a backup point guard, I'm out there playing backup point guard now. Then the things that frustrate players in this case of that type of caliber. I'm now out there playing small ball, playing power forward, when you got a guy at Verjao that should be out there playing those minutes. But I'm somehow playing them. That would hurt a guy like that. That's what I'm saying. These things are a little more complicated, just like, oh, he's unfollowing, he's upset with someone, and he wants to go back to Miami. There's more to it than that. And I think that's consistent in Miami, and that's consistent in Cleveland. He does not want to play certain places, and he doesn't want to play certain positions, and he doesn't want to play a certain amount of minutes.
Well, I mean, it seems like for LeBron to be happy, everything has to be like 100% perfect.
No,
like,
I don't think that.
It's like that little mug that's sideways on the table. Oh, I can't do it.
No. I think his perspective is this. He's pretty much looking at it this way. You know what they call the thing that was it called the nods in this case in Fast and Furious when you flip on the thing and the stuff was flying out right. That's what he is. And he's saying, like, listen, you can play me 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 33 minutes during the regular season. I'll just keep the pace so we get the wins to get our seeding. Then I'll flip it on in the playoffs, and I'll play 40 if you need me to get there. We saw it ourselves in this case for 6 games against Golden State and a lot against Atlanta, where he's playing pretty much every minute. But I don't think he wants to be playing 40 minutes against, against Charlotte in a February night when he doesn't think he has to. That's the point I think he's frustrated about. It goes back to the same thing in Miami. So when Wade decides to take a break off that night, my foot feels a little funny in my knee, and he's like, wait, because that now impacts me now. Now I gotta play 40 minutes because you decided that tonight you just want to take a vacation. It's all tied to the same thing. Like, oh hell no, he's not going through that.
He took a vacation. He took a week off last week.
Damn it, he should take a week off. If he needs to, because the nonsense those jokers are doing. Because when it was said and done the playoffs, he damn near played everything but make the popcorn. Yeah, if there's a player that should take a week off, he's the one.
But here's the thing. Here's my thing with LeBron. At some point, like, when does it fall on him?
It always falls.
No, but here's the thing. Because his first run in Cleveland, you can say, okay, he didn't have a team around him. He didn't have the gym that he was playing with Donnell Marshall and whatnot, right? You go to Miami, you can put some blame on Wade here and there.
It fell on him in Dallas. Done. There's your fell on. There was no one to look at in the mirror but him. I even said so. It was him. If there's one more, it's like, dude, that's you. That's it. After that, it's debatable at this point. I'm not putting in the loss in the fourth one there against San Antonio, because at that point, I think them dudes Wade was pretty much deciding, I'll get in shape after the season's done. Well, that's going to help everybody out. Thank you for that. As he's getting ready for his wedding, he decides to get in shape for that. Like, I'm sitting around there with LeBron like, you serious? Really? You now decide you can get in shape? To go for Gabrielle Union? That's when you're going to get in shape? That's when you get in shape? Oh, thank you. It's so kind of you, sir. Thank you. Like that's what he's dealing with. That's my. So Dallas, for all you LeBron haters, there's your moment. Enjoy it. Run the clock back. Enjoy it. Rewind the tape.
Hey, like I told you off camera. I hope Lee Jenkins at Sports Illustrated is getting the piece ready for the summertime. Because, something's coming down the pipes. Well,
we were way over it. Once it's LeBron, it always gets interesting, but we're way over. I wanted to get into some of the Raptor discussion, but maybe we'll leave that for another time because I'm watching Lowry very carefully. Just say that, folks.
We have about 9-10 games left, and Raptors probably get their 50 wins.
Yeah, they get their 50 wins. But watch carefully, folks. Raptor Nation, watch carefully. Lowry's numbers in the last week been a little suspect. You gotta start asking yourself a question. Wherever he gets nicked up, can he play at the same level once he gets nicked up? Got nicked up, hasn't been the same player since. I ain't saying it's deja vu. Just better hope you get the right matchup. That's all I'm saying, Raptor fans. Because I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't know what he did tonight, but it hasn't been pretty for the last week or so. That's all I'm saying. So all you Lowry fans and K-Lo and all this type of business, you're a franchise player. You need to play all season. Not the first 65, 70 games. You need to play the whole season plus playoffs. And it's looking at 2 seasons now where as we get the finish line, someone's gasping for air. That's all I'm saying. We'll watch the last week, see if he comes back strong, but I'm seeing some funny signs. That's all I'm saying. Missing free throws in the second half of games all of a sudden. I think the last 3-4 games, I heard a stat with Raptors Republic where he shoot something like 16-17% from 3, 60% from the free throw line. Just saying, a lot of 4 for 16 games lately. Just keep an eye out, folks. As I like to say, watch this space.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. Robbie, where can the good folks find you, man?
Hey, man, you guys can find me on Instagram at Robbie Ryan.
You can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM, folks. Yeah, we won't leave you out hanging for too long, man. We'll be back next week, man.
And if you don't agree with the opinions expressed on this podcast, please don't unfollow us.
Yeah, exactly. Peace.